I'm currently hungover, which means a few things. I'm spotty, desperately coming to the reality of how much I spent last night, and also feeling deep, deep shame over the fact I have once again drunkenly called my ex. But above all of these things, I am dehydrated, and that got me thinking about a little community online and what it represents. I'm going to try and go through this video and point out why r/HydroHomies is the key to finding happiness in the modern world. And I'm also, as a secondary objective, going to try and not get bullied too hard for being a British person and having to say water this many times. R/HydroHomies, previously known as, I'm not going to say that, is a group on Reddit that has two accolades. Number one, being the largest subreddit of its kind to celebrate and almost deify water, and number two, being the only liquid themed subreddit that doesn't make me want to vomit. Uh, Despite that, the reason I'm making this video is I want to see behind the memes what these people are all about and why I think it's the best sort of life for you to have and what it can teach us. But to do that and explain properly, I need to first give an understanding of the Hedonic Treadmill. And right now, despite the fact I have a British accent, the hoodie and my general demeanor and IQ don't make me seem intelligent enough to explain this concept. So I'll be right back. There we go. Look at that. I've got books. I'm a smart boy. We got some classics in there. I'm intelligent. Words. I know words. Plethora, myriad. Aren't you impressed? Now, the hedonic treadmill is a theory in psychology that kind of makes the assertion, another smart word for you. I know what I'm talking about over here, all right? But it assumes that human happiness and satisfaction eventually levels out despite changing external things. So let's look at someone, say a millionaire. He's always dreamed of getting that first million. And then when he gets it, his happiness eventually settles back down to his normal rate of happiness. And already he's thinking, oh, I would love to be a billionaire. So that's sort of the general practice. And I'm a believer that this theory is true or has some validity. The world has changed so much in the past 100 years, all in the sake of progression, to make people happier. But I think if you were to take someone from 100 years ago, you know, given that they're accepted for their race or sexuality or any form of creed, really, and were to compare them to someone from the modern day, of a similar standing in society, I'm not sure the levels of happiness would fully represent the huge steps that humanity's taken. They didn't have any G's back in the day. We're at 5 now. That's a big number. But I think that's somewhat evidence for the hedonic treadmill. I myself, I'm in a much better spot currently than I am 2 years ago. But how much is my level of satisfaction or happiness reflected by that? I can look sort of externally and go, you know, I have this that I didn't have, I have this that I didn't have. But my psychology has just kind of come to a baseline level of happiness, which I've always been at, despite the fact that things have actually gotten better. Now, let's say, for the sake of the video, I mean, if you don't prescribe to the hedonic treadmill, there's not much point, but you've already wasted, what, like 3 minutes? So why not waste another however many? But if you prescribe to that idea, I think you'll kind of see the direction that I'm heading in when it comes to HydroHomies. It would be one thing if this was a subreddit of people just talking about the health benefits, going, hey, I drank this much water today. Water is good for me. Osmosis, other such thing. I don't even know if osmosis is a water thing. But, my vitamins are getting correctly circulated. This really is exposing how much I know about science. But when it comes down to it, it's not just that. It's not people, showing medical claims. It's people who have found some sense of community or celebration in drinking water. People talking about how nice water is when it's cold, what kind of ice cubes they like in it, their favorite mode of drinking it, which is where really escaping and rejecting the hedonic treadmill comes into it. The world is so complex. There's so many things to try and entertain us or make us happy, right? But if you were to manage to tune out all of the noise and just focus on the essential things which you do, not aspiring to something else, and take real joy in those things, I think that's a good outlook to have. And I think that is what HydroHomies is representing. To offer sort of a secondary explanation of this, I would say that they're not so much as drinking water, they're tasting water. You know, the old adage of wake up and smell the flowers, to be appreciative of the normal things in life. You know, I live in a third world country currently. I moved here from Great Britain, um, and water here is different in terms of you can't just drink it from your sink, so you have to go to like a water purification station. And this has really forced me into the perspective that these people have managed to reprogram themselves into, in that, you know, there's a ritual now behind getting water. It's not just a convenience that I have to do, and then, you know, I drink water and then I get on with my day, and then I can drink, you know, 2 liters of Pepsi in one day, which I still do, but I'm drinking enough water, I promise. But you know, the fact that have to go through this ritual of getting it, and then I finally get home with my little thing of my big old jug of water, and then I pour one out, and then I'm actually tasting the water. I'm appreciative for it, you know. I'm enjoying something which I've taken for granted for so long in life. Now, if I was able, or if we were able to do that with, you know, every little aspect of life, I think we could fully, you know, reject the hedonic treadmill and actually start to, you know, enjoy life. I mean, that sounded really like I was having a go at whoever's watching this, you know, that you're taking everything for granted. But it's not so much that. It's more, you know, enjoy as many aspects of life as you can. You know, I know it sucks sometimes, but we can keep going. But yeah, I'm gonna get into one final point, which is a bit more heady. Won't make any sense at all. I don't think, but we'll have a go and then we'll wrap up the video there. So you know, I'll give you a little challenge at the end. If you were to look at the most prevalent schools of thought in this area of happiness and success in life, there's a lot of external things going on, you know? A lot of pages talking about being a Sigma grind set warrior. You know, you got to have a car for each day of the week and a watch for each woman you've shagged. Yeah, look at us, eh? And I do disagree with that. Obviously, you know, it'd be sort of, I do have to say there is an amount of money that you kind of need to be happy. But I think the reason I've decided to make this video on HydroHomies is it's a real thing of the external versus the internal and the progress in both, you know. I think if you were to take a member of HydroHomies who's equally as rich as someone who's, you know, on the Sigma grind set, and they had the same money and luxuries, I think the person from HydroHomies would be so much more happier, because at the end of the day, you can have all of the external things you want, but it's all about perception. And I think that's the real point that I've been trying to say. I think HydroHomies is a rare example of an online community who is focused on having the right perception in life, and via that they can achieve, you know, real happiness. So I think if you've watched this video, I think a little task for everyone could be, you know, have a glass of water today, and really cherish it, you know. Don't cherish like it's a child or anything like that. It's not that important. I think I might get crucified in the comments now, but you know, really try and taste the water, be thankful for it. You know, you're doing good by yourself. So I'll obviously lead by example. So cheers to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for my 17 subscribers at this point, which I'm very happy with. So cheers, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, take care.